Stock time. All right. What a great old buck dance tune that is. Mississippi John Hurt recorded under, I think, two names, Stock Time and maybe Payday. Now, I call it a buck dance. It's actually a very standard buck dance. You may not know what that is if you're not from the mountains of North Carolina or from a very rural part of the South. Buck dancing is the predecessor to tap dance and clogging. It was shared by both rural white and black folks. It's sort of a shuffling, tapping step where you're keeping your feet in time. It was very competitive. When I was a kid, and we go to let me tell you, the Carter family fold, Hilton's, Virginia, the home of the Carter family. Went up there hoping to see Johnny Cash, never saw Johnny Cash. Did get to meet the Carter family, those that were there, and people in the community who, bar none, we're talking the most welcoming, wonderful people on the face of the earth. I mean, literally. Hilton's, Virginia, right outside Lebanon, Virginia, a little bit up and over from Bristol, Abingdon, that kind of area. Beautiful, rolling pastoral countryside, and the old folks still get up and buck dance, which, somebody start playing, they'll get up there, start shuffling around. I know you can't see my feet, but it's a wonderful tradition. It's equal parts Irish step dance and African dance. And down in Morganton, when I was learning to play blues and such, the old black folks would get up and start buck dancing. It was a little bit different, it was a little funkier. But it's the same thing, and it's just, these tunes go back to the 1800s. These are foundational to American music. Now, John Hurt's version was a 4-chord progression. I think that's probably pretty standard for the buck dance. He would start out in open C. So, we're going to play open and then drop the pinky down, grab that G note. So, F, back to C. That gives you the motion of the song. Right? D7, G, hammer. I'm just hammering on the, right? G7, open, C. All right, it's really that simple. I mean, this is such an easy framework. There are 1,000 variations on the buck dance. You can do all kinds of, if you want to, or whatever. I did that, the one variation I did was, that is so classic to American music, both blues and country. It just kind of breaks things up. It kind of catches the ear. A guitarist tapping on the instrument goes back centuries. I mean, literally. And of course you go, if you want to. If you wanted to play all of the beats, we just go. Pull off the F to the open E, and that's your G7 chord, of course. So, it's that simple. Let's go through it. Drop the pinky, right? F, back to C. D7, G, F, C, and then hammer. G7, C, or love this stuff. I can play it all day, and I have many, many, many times for dancers. Usually in the key of C, sometimes G or D. I mean, it just kind of depends on what the band wants to play. And I think I'm a little flat there on my E note, but it doesn't matter. When you're playing, certainly festivals and you're out in the sunlight, your instrument's always going to be a little out of tune. You have to learn to live with that and deal with it. By the fireplace, cold winters, hot summer days on the porch, learning to kind of adjust as you go is a big part of being a folk musician. Or in my case, just pretending like everything's okay and going with it. That's more my style. So let's go. Oh, I love the old buck dance tunes. I really do. And that's John Hurt's version, Stock Time, or I think Payday, and he may have even had another name for it. I've done an Etta Baker buck dance tune. Very soon, I'm going to do a Reverend Gary Davis buck dance tune, which has 5 or 7 different variations. I'll be sliding around and, doing pull-offs and hammer-ons and little runs like you won't even believe. But this is a really good, basic, foundational buck dance tune. It is so simple. And literally, if you could go back in time to 1850, the guitar would not have been the instrument of choice. It would have been probably a banjo. Piano kind of, it was becoming popular at the time. Banjo and fiddle were really the things. It could have been a guy playing spoons. Remember the spoons or the bones. They take a couple of cow bones or horse bones, and they were incredibly rhythmic, or a washboard. That kind of stuff. That's what people would have been dancing to. In a nice house, upscale, they would have had more sophisticated instruments. On the farm, in the shacks. Guitar really didn't come in until about 1890 or so as a popular instrument. It took a while to really catch on. It was more expensive than most instruments. You can make a banjo yourself at home out of a gourd and an animal skin and some tacks and piece of wood for the bridge, and it's really pretty easy to make a banjo. Guitar was a little more sophisticated. The mandolin was incredibly popular around the 1890s, but this form of music would have been known in every race, every culture in the American South, and there are African influences on it, there are Irish influences on it. This is like the real melting pot. I mean, this is where it all comes together. So let's just go through it one more time. You could certainly do a 2-finger. I'll try 2-finger. A little more traditional, probably. Yeah, it actually maybe even sounds better with 2 fingers. I don't know. I'm by default 3-finger. Let's try 4 fingers. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of the pad there, but that nail's not long enough. But anyway. Yeah. Have fun with it. There is no wrong way to play a buck dance so long as you keep the rhythm. It's a song for dancing. Never drop the rhythm. And come up with your own variations. Send me a video. Let me see what you got. I could play around with this all day. buck dances are just fun, and they're just such a wonderful part of our culture and heritage in the South. And I hope y'all never get bogged down in the race and politics and all that. Music's music. Musicians are musicians. We love to play music, and we love especially to play music for people who dance to music. Music is not, this style of music is not meant to be listened to or collected in some archive. It's meant to live and breathe and be dance music. And when you're a guitar player and you're sitting there and you're watching and you start getting inspired by the moves of the dancers, you watch their feet. If they're getting a, well, maybe you get that kind of different rhythm, right? If they're, you follow their movements, their motions, and they can vary so greatly. I played for all white Appalachian audiences. I played for Cherokees. I played for black folks. I played for Lumbees. I played for every Mexicans. I played. They all have a different sense of rhythm, and you work that into your. You're communicating with them. You as a musician are communicating with the dancer. The death of any form of music is when people stop dancing to it. I mean, there are a million people out there right now. There are probably 10 million people who listen to jazz. How many of them dance to it? Jazz was at its most popular in, say, the 1920s and 30s and 40s when it was dance music. When it started out with the Charleston and the Black Bottom and then moved into the big swing dances and the Lindy Hop and all that great stuff. When people stop dancing to music, the music begins to die. Rock and roll began as dance music. Blues has always been dance music. When people are sitting there in a club studiously listening, oh, did you see what he just did? Let me write that down. That's it. That's dead music. That is dead music. Music should be danced to. I mean, not church music, obviously, but we're not talking, Gregorian chants. Or some classical music actually was meant for dancing, and quite a bit of it was. But when people stop dancing, that's when the music dies. When it becomes for listeners and students and musicians to study, forget it. Music should be fun, music should be rhythmic, music should be danced to if you want it to be alive and vibrant. And what is better for that purpose than a buck dance? Alright, y'all. If you got any questions or comments, email me, judson@judsoncarroll.com, or leave a comment below the video in the comment section. And I'm just showing off my beautiful Larivee guitar right now. It wasn't intentional. There is nothing quite like a Larivee. Honestly, I would not trade this for a 100-year-old Martin. Jean Larivee. Man, he's something. I have had people offer me 3 to 5 times what I paid for this guitar. I turn them down every time. I bought this guitar in the 1990s. It is a model D03, serial number 00494. That means it was one of the first 500 of these ever made. I bought it for around $400. Yeah, it was a steal. It really was. I've had people offer me for $1,000, and I've turned them down. I'm not parting with my Larivee. I have other instruments. I played this every single day since I was 15. I'm 48. This instrument fits my hands. It is my voice. I hope you find a guitar that suits you like this one suits me. If the house was on fire and I could say one thing, it would have been my dog, but my dog died, unfortunately. If I could say one other thing, guitar. I got antiques. I've got like my great-great-great-grandfather's Enfield rifle from the Civil War. Would I love to get it out? Yeah, but I'd grab this guitar first, 100%. This is the extension of my mind. This is a part of my body. This is what, Trigger is to Willie Nelson. This is what Lucille was to B.B. King. My Telecaster, I specifically chose because the neck is almost identical. I would grab this one first, without a doubt. And it's a beautiful telly. I'll show it to you sometime. My banjos, my mandolins, no. Anything else that I own can be replaced. Yeah. Anything else that I own can be replaced. I could never replace this instrument. And why is that? It's because I played it for 30 some years. When you play an instrument, the wood changes with vibrations. Your guitar literally becomes your guitar. No other instrument will ever come close to that. Your sound shapes the wood shapes the tone, and it becomes your voice. Your guitar becomes your other voice. I cannot stress enough. When you're buying a guitar, go find an instrument, play every single one of them, and the one that responds to you, the one you don't want to let go of, get it and never let it go. I had a 1970 Guild before this one that I played a lot. I worked in a guitar shop. I got to play a lot of things. It was semi-mine, we'll put it that way. If someone came and made an offer on it, I'd have to give it up. No, I played Martins, I played Gibsons. I love the Gibson SGs as far as solid body electric guitar. I love Fender Telecasters. Dean's. Man, Dean made some phenomenal instruments. Stromberg. Wow. Epiphone. And certainly those Gibsons. I played some of the finest instruments in the world. I would not trade this guitar for anything if I had a choice. If my life depended on it, maybe. No. No. Anyway, y'all, have a great week, and I'll talk to you next time.